Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It sounds like someone intentionally set a wildland fire and laid an ambush for the firefighters. Now, the battalion chiefs went up there with the local resources and they immediately were fired upon by, I don't know if it was a sniper or what have you. I actually have and will play for you right now the original radio traffic that came in to 911. It gives us a lot of insight as to what happened and who it was that got unalived. Also, they reported about 15 minutes ago, the local sheriff's department or the SWAT team up there have found a body of what it appears to be the deceased gunman with the firearm right next to it. They also had put an order in for folks to shelter in place, and that was lifted. So those two things kind of tell me, or what it seems to me anyway, is that they are of the opinion that it was a single shooter and that the threat is probably over. So I'm going to play for you right now the radio communication of while it was happening in real time. It's pretty insightful and it gives us a lot of information. So I just started it. I haven't listened all the way through it. So we'll hear it together here for the first time. So turn up your speakers and I'll play it now.
Right now, there's an active shooter zone. They're shot. BT3's down. BT1's down. Everybody's shot up here. Law enforcement.
BT3, BT1, what that would mean in fire would be those are battalion chiefs, which is pretty common. A smoke would be reported or a start would be reported. The chief would go up there first and do what they call a scene size up. There's no point of sending the cavalry if it's something that could be handled with a shovel. So a chief or the first person on scene, which usually be him, he's in a command vehicle, he can move faster than the heavy apparatus, and he's going to go up there and do a scene size up. So there were 2 battalion chiefs there, and both of them were shot and killed.
Code 3 now up here. 551, 10 or 14 up here. Stop. Get out of the way. 10 or 14. Answer first 551. Do not come up here. 51 copies. Remaining staging.
All right. So when you have a situation like that, if it's a big fire, you'll do the call for mutual aid. You're calling out because these local departments, they don't have a ton of resources. They might have one engine. They might have a water tender, couple guys. So when you have a big fire like that, you have agreements with your surrounding guys in your surrounding areas to come and lend you a hand. So they'll put up what they call a staging area. So as resources are arriving, the battalion chief or whoever it is that's in charge can start plugging those in as needed and get an idea of what he has. So what we have is the battalion chiefs went up there. There were 2 of them. So the fire was probably ripping pretty good. A couple of local firefighters were joining them. They immediately started being fired upon. So this guy right here that we're listening to is radioing down, telling all the additional resources that are on their way up there to hold at staging and don't come up there because they're under attack.
Central from 551.
551.
You get an ETA on life flight, please.
All right, so they're immediately having life flight get spooled up. Problem with life flight on these wildland areas is there's rarely a place, especially in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho up there, where you can actually land because of all the heavy timber.
I heard that you see the life flight house off, we're going to get started. Also, if you can do enact the MPI for the county, please.
Copy.
Is that the upper parking lot? Is that upper parking lot? Up on the dirt parking lot. We need law enforcement up here immediately.
Okay, so this guy is actually up there. I don't know if he's trying to administer first aid. Sorry, I have to let his pants out here. To the 2 battalion chiefs that are non-responsive or down. But he's obviously super stressed. Oh, there's elk in the field. Miss Pants is going to tear after him. But he's super stressed right now. You can hear it in his voice. General Sam.
Law enforcement up here immediately.
Copy. Immediately out, law enforcement.
Hey, retard.
Another Coeur d'Alene firefighter down Needs help immediately. We need law enforcement.
Quiet.
Immediate. I copy another firefighter down. Continue law enforcement. I copy. 2 battalion chiefs. 1 off. 1 minute. Firefighter down. I'm down.
Okay, it's out. Oh my goodness! I have an animal. General Sam. General Sam. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Come here. Come here. Come here, Miss May. We're trying to listen to the radio transcripts. Yes. Hey. Hey. Quiet. Quiet. So brave, but he stays on the porch. He's not willing to go out there and to tackle the animals. Go on, go on, go on, go get him. Nothing but the best production, gentlemen. You know how it is around here. Let us continue. So if you're just joining us, we're actually listening to the radio transcript of the 911 call of the firefighters that are taking fire on that Coeur d'Alene. Give me strength. On that Coeur d'Alene shooting.
I copy. You can move to location exactly.
We're all at the upper parking lot. We're all at the upper parking lot. Please, law enforcement, as soon as possible, get law enforcement up to the upper parking lot, the group parking lot. We're not having any response from the battalion chief.
Okay, so the guy with the muffled voice, he just said, I'm not getting any response from the battalion chief. So he's actually right there at the time this is happening in real time, trying to administer first aid, but it apparently neither one of them are responsive. So it sounds like both of them were killed immediately.
I don't see anybody else.
Okay, just kind of vehicles.
Then immediately up here, we've got 2 unresponsive battalion chiefs, gunshot wounds, multiple gunshot wounds. 2 Coeur d'Alene firefighters are down.
There you have it. 2 battalion chiefs, multiple gunshot wounds. Both of them are down, and it sounds like both of them are unresponsive. And we know the reporting has been is that both of them were killed, and there was a 3rd firefighter, the last I'd heard, that is in serious or critical condition at the hospital. Also, it's being reported about 30 minutes ago that they found the shooter. He was near the rifle, deceased. We don't know if he took his own life or if they took him out. Now, I listened to the press conference from the sheriff's department, and whenever you have situations like this, they're pretty much going to shoot and ask questions later.
I copy. 2 unresponsive battalion chiefs. Law enforcement shooting as quickly as they can.
Law enforcement get up here. We could possibly get the 2 wounded out. I'm pinned down behind Battalion 1's rig. It's clear to me that this fire was set intentionally to draw us in.
Okay, so the guy on the scene right there that's on the radio, he said, I'm pinned down behind the battalion chief's command vehicle, so they're taking cover. So it sounds like they're under sniper fire, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get, I guess he doesn't know if they're still alive or not, how they're going to get them down there. He's trying to get medical attention to them, but the guy that's actually reporting, it seems like doing the first aid, is saying that they're unresponsive, multiple gunshot wounds. Both of the battalion chiefs.
100% sure where they would land. I think they need to be prepared to launch.
Okay, so what he's talking about right there is life flight. One of the things you do when you have a situation like this, whether it be a gunshot wound, or I've been on fires where we've had to life flight people out from heat stroke or different injuries, is it's really difficult to get them out there. It's a process. You got to call in to dispatch. They get them spooled up, and then you have to build an LZ or report, place where they can land. And in a situation like this, it's rarely any place in the forest where you can land life flight. And a lot of times you'll have to actually create and clear one out. We've actually worked to clear LZs with chainsaws and brush out really quickly, throw the whole crew on it for life flight to come and land, so it can administer whoever needs help. We have a super chat from Brother Morris. Thank you, brother, for that, who says, I'm sick and tired of you and your ways. You being happy, successful, and doing Father's will is not what I signed up for. Praise the Most High. Yes, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Copy, ready to launch.
Start dispatching 4 ambulances.
Okay, yeah, so that is that's the end. That's all that I could find. So just to give a recap, earlier today in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, now that is probably, goodness, that's 5 or 6 hours from here to the north, there was a wildland fire that started. It appears, from what we know now, this may change, but it appears that a gunman started the fire and then set himself up in some sort of a sniper hide or an ambush situation, waiting for the wildland firefighters, the resources to show up to put it out, and started shooting at them. Apparently, he has shot and killed the 2 battalion chiefs that showed up for the scene, the scene size up, injured a third that's in the hospital, and then this radio transcript that I just shared with you was as it was happening. The guys that were up there with the battalion chief, sounds like one of them was trying to perform first aid. The second one was pinned down behind the command vehicle, and he's frantically radioing. He actually did a pretty good job. He's trying to get law enforcement up there. He had enough awareness to make sure that they got life flight spooled up and heading in that direction, just in case, because time is so important in those first 10 minutes or that first hour, and that's what we were sharing. The last thing that was reported in the press conference is supposed to probably started about 7 minutes ago. The local sheriff is going to talk about what happened, what they found, or is the shooter. We also know that there was a lot of hikers up there. It's a big recreational area, and so they were worried about them, how to get them down, and so there was a shelter in place order. As of about 20 minutes ago, they had lifted that, and they had stated they had found the gunman and found the gun, and they'd lifted that order of shelter in place. So that probably what that tells us is that it's most likely, or they believe, that the threat is over, and there are probably no one else involved. But that's all that we know at this time. I'm going to sign off the live stream here in a little bit. If you have any questions or comments, put them in right now. I got a minute or two left, and then I'll go back and watch that press conference and see if we can learn anything else. Incel shooter, yeah, I don't know. We're going to see more of this. There's nothing more dangerous, gentlemen, than disassociated young men when they don't have any hope, when there's no hope of getting a mate, having a family, buying a home. The economy is so difficult, the job market is so difficult, and there's such a war, there's such an attack on young men. Our society has pretty much turned gynocentric. A lot of things are at a disadvantage for these young guys, and if they don't have anything to do, and they don't have any hope of ever succeeding, they get desperate, and it's sad. I know it's easy to throw the name, oh, incel this and incel that, but it's they're not there because they want to be. It's just it's just rough for them, and we're going to see more and more of this. It's really important, gentlemen. I don't want to. I'm not going to be here promoting fear. I don't have it. We don't need to be afraid of things, but we do need to be prepared. I would really, really encourage you. Go back about 2 weeks ago or so. I did a video on how to put together a speed bag. This would be enhanced EDC. Now, most of you who are in the war band that are in my members are probably concealed carry. We're all checked out on this, but I would strongly encourage you to get some training, get a firearm, learn how to use it, be carrying it, get licensed, and watch this video, learn about this, get yourself a rifle, learn how to shoot, and be able to protect yourself, and always carry this stuff with you. Have a speed bag, have a go bag, have a plan in your mind that if you get yourself into a situation like this, that you're not hiding. You don't have to hide and be at the will of some lunatic. You'll be able to have options. If these guys will typically pick soft targets, and that's exactly what they did here. This is really a clever ambush. I've been in wildland firefighting for a long time, and one thing you guys never hear about are all the hundreds and thousands of fires that never take off and never become big, because our local guys, the Forest Service, the local DNRs, the local districts, our volunteer departments, they know what they're doing. They're good at their work. And in these rural areas, they see a smoke, it gets reported. Like when you live in the urban interface, everyone is a firefighter. because we're all affected by this. And the moment someone sees or smells the smoke, they'll call that in, and guys will go up there, and you can easily deal with it. Most fires can be put out and prevented with a couple men and a shovel. But the important thing is to be able to respond to it quickly. Now, this is going to open a conversation that we've never, ever had to have before. Now we have to think about the safety of our first responders, the safety of our wildland firefighters. You know, they're not cops. They're not trained in firearms. It's not something that they can't go up there and be armed and protect themselves. So what does that mean? Well, immediately now there's going to be a hold. Rather than being able to go up there and to deal with those fires and put them out in a productive way, now we have to worry about their safety. And does that mean that they're going to have to go up there and be attached with law enforcement? Are they going to have to go up there with tactical teams? All this is going to cost more money, and it's going to slow things down. It's going to be more expensive. And it's just, it's a problem that we've never had to face before. And this conversation, I assure you, at every single training, at every volunteer department out west, this is going to be coming up, and protocols and procedures for this is going to have to be dealt with and come up with. It's really, really something. It's a clever ambush, and whoever was involved with it, I think we're going to find out they probably knew what they were doing. Yeah, we've been facing this for years. Yeah, this has been happening. It's happened with in some of our natural disasters. Remember, I believe that last cold snap down in Texas, there were actually Texans that were so frustrated in that cold weather with their power being out for day after day after day that they were attacking verbally, physically, and even shooting at the linemen that had come from all across the country there to get their power back on. You know, this is just the civilization that we live in. We have those type of people among us. Yeah. John says, be prepared, have a place to go underground if possible. Get 90 days of food and water on hand. That's such good advice. Such good advice. Don't be fearful. You know, the chance of this happening is rare, but you're going to be a lot more comforted if you have a plan in mind. You're going to be a lot more comforted when you travel and when you're out and about that you've got a firearm with you and you know how to use it. Maybe some body armor. Maybe a couple gallons or a gallon of extra water and some food. That's why I put these kits together so that you guys can use that as a template and build your own kits. And again, don't be afraid. I'm not here peddling fear porn. I'm not, people will always accuse me of being afraid. Oh, you're just afraid, that's why you carry a gun. That couldn't be further from the truth. The last person that's afraid is a man that is competent and capable with his weapon and has practiced and has done the thinking and done the groundwork. That's not an easy person to deal with. That's not a person that's going to be taken advantage of. And I'm not afraid. I'm prepared. Just like most of the war band is. Another thing, another plug for my good friend, Mr. Evan, Radio Made Easy. We have, in my members, we do daily live streams. And when this kicked off, I went over and I started a live stream with the members only. And we actually had one of the war band members that was an RN nurse on scene, was feeding us direct intel. And the reason why he was able to feed that intel and know what was going on is because he had bought one of the Baofeng radios. He bought it from Evan, and Evan had programmed it to his local district. And he's a first responder and couldn't get any information. They just told him, show up to the hospital, we have incoming. He turned on his radio and he was listening to it and feeding us live data from that. So scanners and radios, the radio comms is so important. I know it's important, and I didn't get serious about it until recently, until last year's fire. But the more time goes on, the more I'm convinced that is not an optional thing. You should have a scanner, and you should have a 3 radio kit for your use in your family, so you can find out what's going on. With the scanners, we were listening to it unfold in real time. We don't have to wait on the news to tell us what's going on. We're hearing the RP, the reporting party. We're hearing in real time what's taking place, and it's a capability that all of you can have, and it's not that expensive. CB radio is not of any value, not for this sort of thing. Emergency services is all running on digital communications. You can't pick up that with a CB radio. You can't pick it up with an old school scanner either. You have to have the new, latest, greatest scanner. You have to have a digital scanner. CB radio. There's nothing of value on a CB radio, to be honest with you. Yeah, Tyler says they do make ham radios with scanning capability of the Bearcat. Yeah, that's true. I don't know about all that. Those ham radios, gentlemen, unless you are a nerd and an engineer, those things are confusing, man, and they're complicated. And I have enough to do. I'm not going to go and sit and I'm not going to do that. What I can do though is I can listen to a scanner. The scanner is pre-programmed. There's a feature where it'll search everything around you. Even a dummy like myself, when it comes to this, can use that. And I'll tell you that more than the radio, I use the scanner. I never leave the house without it anymore. It's always on because I want to know. I want to know, for example, if Mrs. W is in a car wreck or there's a car wreck that's going to block us from getting into town. I know what's happening the moment it's called into 911. I know everything that's going on in the county. And it's passive, and you can have the same thing. So I would really encourage you to get radios and scanners. Thank you, Lush. It's going well. It's going well. We're winding down the weekend, and a lot been going on this week, but we're all doing well. Families happy and healthy. All right, gentlemen, that's about all I had. I wanted to jump on this quick stream. May God bless you, all of you. Thank you for the super chat. And if there's anything else to report, I'll jump back on. But that's all I know. Keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you guys on the next one.